Hello and welcome back to the LFC transfer room for a match reaction of Manchester United 4, Liverpool nil in the Bangkok Central Sutton tournament. Basically, you got gifted the whole stadium, but Liverpool did lose to Premier League rivals Manchester United. Before we delve in any further, though, I'm joined by two lovely gentlemen, Kev and Drew. Kev, I'll start with you. How you doing on this lovely day in the UK?
Absolutely made up, mate. I'm going to end up like a sun-dried fat tomato by the end of next week. But no, all good, mate. All good. You?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You probably can't notice it, but if you go back on different streams, I'm a few shades whiter than what I am now, if that is possible. So I've caught the sun a bit. My arms are red. Probably can't see it on the camera, but lovely bit of burn from the beach. It was a good day, but Drew's probably laughing at us being sunburnt in our
Exactly.
22 degrees. But how are you doing today, Drew? I
At
think
6 in the
Drew.
morning for yesterday's game. Oh, I'll try to switch cameras if I can later.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
But yeah, just recovering from 6 a.m. Game yesterday. But I do have 80-degree weather, so I can always go to the beach and lie in the sun and forget about it.
Yeah, probably it's a bit hotter than here. What's 80 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius? It's 26, so that's probably about the same as what we are at the moment because it's 24 today where I am. But yeah, so look, we're here to talk about the disappointing results. I guess you could say disappointing. Drew's left. I'll just change that before he comes back in. Kev, a bit of a disappointing result. It is the first game of pre-season, so it's not the biggest issue ever. But it's never nice to lose to Man United, is it? No matter what the tournament.
It never is, and I think it's because it was against United. I think you're seeing a lot of the fan base kind of going the way they are going, and and being kind of disappointed. I wasn't too disappointed. I work with people who support United, so it was. To be honest, they didn't come back to me at any point. Do you know what I mean? They weren't getting ahead of themselves. So, I think you have to take it for what it is. We played three teams in that game yesterday, and it showed we were naive at times. The team were giving away stupid mistakes that led to easy goals. But there's a lot of positives that you can take just from the game. For me, more than anything else, I'm not too concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned we get beat by them, but in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing for me. What did you feel, Charlie?
Look, I mean, I want to win every game Liverpool play pre-season or not, but I think you could tell it was a lot of the players' first game back. Manchester United looked a few weeks ahead of us in terms of preparation, which isn't a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just how they've been. They come back, I think, a week earlier than us anyway. Eric Ten Hag's had them there for a while. They played the strongest team for the first 45 minutes, and they played a pretty strong side. The first 45 minutes consisted of pretty much a bunch of youth players. So, it is what it is. And they got the 3 goals in that space of time as well. So, but I think a few players did impress, which we will go on to shortly. But Drew, you said you woke up at 6 a.m. Probably not the best game to be waking up to, but what were your overall thoughts on the game?
You pretty much just hit the nail on the head. But I think it was there were some exciting moments from some players. I think there were a few mistakes, but I think that happens when you throw together a chop side, and not to mention 3 different sides throughout the 90. So, Man United had a pretty strong starting 11. They do 45-minute halves for the most part. It was a pretty strong team. It felt kind of like Ten Hag wanted to get off the mark and not have any hiccups against us. And when only one of their goals was really build up play and well executed, I think the first 3 all had a mistake from our players at the back. So, I don't, as you said, I don't like waking up at 6 a.m. to watch us lose, but if it's going to happen, I'd prefer it to be a friendly our first game back when really the agenda is getting minutes in our legs and getting up to speed.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to everyone joining: Mateus, Adam, Dean, Anush. Make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. But as we said, I think we used 32 players across all of the games. I mean, Kev, even though we conceded 2, I think I was more impressed with the first team that we put out. It looked, very sharp. It had Carvalho playing. It was a 4-2-3-1. Which I expected. Harvey Elliott was surprisingly on the right, Diaz on the left, Firmino up front with new boy Fabio Carvalho slotted in behind them. Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho were arguably 2 of the best players during the whole game. Harvey Elliott especially looked very, very sharp, didn't he?
He did. They both looked really... I was even surprised with Tyler Morton as well, in the fact that he's got kind of looks like a new role in that system, as more as a dominant 8 rather than an actual 6. So he's now got a bit of freedom, which may help him with his game. I thought the right back as well, the Zimbabwean Isaac Zabeo was superb at right back, and I think there's going to be, I think potentially a bit of a fight between him and Ramsey for certain games to be starting, especially in the league. But Elliott looked right on it. He looked as though I'm here to prove a point this season, and I want to get back to where I was 12 months ago before his injury in the Leeds game. But I was more impressed. I agree with you, Charlie. I think that first team was probably our most dynamic and looked. Even Diaz, even at the post in that first 30 minutes. You know what I mean? But quality, absolute quality for me. Like, it bodes well for the season ahead. If Elliott can continue that sharpness and gets a little bit better for me. But I also have to agree that I think all the young lads played well. To be honest, Tyler Morton as well. But Carvalho, I'm really excited that we've got him for the price that we did. Looks really good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Drew, yes, we conceded 2 goals in that first half, mainly down to errors from Nat Phillips and Joe Gomez. As Kev said, the right back and the left back Chambers, I thought, impressed as much as they could. Yes, there was a mistake in there, but it's a pre-season game. It is what it is. Tyler Morton and Jordan Henderson, was he in the middle? Jordan Henderson playing that 2 role. But the attack especially looked very good. Luis Diaz hit the post twice. Fabio Carvalho as well. Oh no, Fabio Carvalho hit the post and Diaz hit the post. He did bit of sitter as well. Diaz, it could have easily been 3-4-2 in that first half, couldn't it? We just didn't have the look of the draw when United did, so it's not that big of a deal. But the attack looked very good, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think the difference too is that we created our chances. Like, they didn't happen off of mistakes. We really, like, as you touched on, you and Kev touched on, Harvey Elliott and Carvalho absolutely lit it up. Their interplay was amazing. The balls that Carvalho was playing up to Diaz was, just beautiful to see him embed that quickly. I think the excitement and like the optimism, like the players all looked hungry to go out there and have some fun and prove themselves. Just, especially the first team. And mistakes aside, I think we were the better the better team in that first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, going on to the second team as well, a much more youthful side. Bobby Clark up front was very isolated the majority of the time. It was sort of looked like a weird 4-5-1 almost. Not much really happening. But one player I do want to bring attention to is someone who we have been very critical of. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain looked up for it, didn't he, Kev? I think he's probably one of the most impressive players of the whole game, potentially. I mean, maybe top 3, but I was very impressed. He looked very energetic. I know it's only 13 minutes, but he took his chance, didn't he, in that 30 minutes?
He certainly did, and he looked as though he had a bit of pace on him as well, which was surprising to me. I think he needed that though. I think that hopefully will give him a bit of confidence that we are as a fan base are looking for, and to actually look as though he's up for the fight. He could quite easily have just come in and just done what he normally has done when he's played for us in the season and fit the games out. But I'm glad he's taken this on and wants to improve himself, and hopefully he does. Do you know what I mean? And he gets more confidence, he gets more game time, and it puts another question in Klopp's mind that we do have another option there if needed, if certain things happen. But no, I was quite impressed. He was the one who I had to thing on my eyes because I couldn't believe what I was seeing with Oxen out where he was playing. You know, he's put what I've said to him and the criticism. He must have heard. Do you know what I mean? He must be watching us.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it's a step in the right direction for Ox. But regarding the defensive side, I think Simicast impressed a little bit. I can't even remember who was at right back, but drew that Reece Williams mistake. It was a poor mistake for your first touch, wasn't it? And there's a lot of. I know it is only pre-season, but he just doesn't look up to the quality of a Liverpool defender, does he? Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's harsh that he got punished and was in that position, but at the same time, you need to be more aware of what's around you. And I think what really is a setback on his game is how slow he is. Like, I think if someone like Kanate, Gomez, or Van Dijk makes a mistake like that, they have a chance of getting back and correcting it. But Reece Williams is a very slow defender, so I think that was pretty much the worst first touch he could have for coming in. But I also thought Nat Phillips didn't cover himself well, which is unfortunate to see because those two got us into the Champions League the other year. And they definitely deserve credit and praise for what they've done for the club. But as you said, I don't know if the likes of Reece Williams can make the jump at this stage. I know he's young, but you kind of tell early signs when you have the likes of Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho. I know they're different positions, but you can kind of tell on the eye test whether or not a player is up to chops for Liverpool's first team.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a low move with Swansea did not work out. I think another low move's definitely in the pipeline, and hopefully it can maybe work out better this time. But before we move on to what we thought of the last team, make sure you do leave a like on the video and subscribe. We'll be doing a watch along for the Friday game against Crystal Palace in Singapore too. But Kev, the second team, it was pretty much the first team. Maybe apart from Luis Diaz and who else? Luis Diaz and maybe Joel Matip and Alisson as well. It's probably the first team that most people are expecting to go into the first game of the season against Fulham against. I'm going to bring it up straight away because it was a horrible miss. Darwin Nunez, it's been going around Twitter all the past 24 hours. It's not the best look, is it? But it's it is what it is, isn't it?
It is, and I think Haaland's done similar at Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? So I think what makes it worse is the fact that it's his first game. We're all expecting this great big Uruguayan to do what he did, pick up where he did with Benfica against us at Anfield, and just walk in and slot that away. I think Bailey does well to put him off it a bit. I'm probably trying to find excuses as to why he missed, but I'll be honest, it doesn't concern me. He's probably only just come back. I think he's only been in the team about 2 or 3 days, got a blister on his foot. That's going to cause him concern. I was in his head a little bit. I'm also looking at more excuses for him. But I'm not going to write him off after a 30-minute show against United. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, I feel like the main thing you could see from that last 30 minutes was how shattered everybody was during it. Obviously it's very hot and humid in Thailand, but as Kev just said there, the majority of that team all come back a day before the game. So, it's not much to worry about, is it? The fact that these players are looking tired, it's the first game. Maybe when we go to Germany and Austria, if they're still looking tired then we can think about it. But, all that matters is that team got game time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely agree. I also think that there were some bright moments. Like I thought Trent played extremely well. He had some really good balls in, and I think that's the difference for me with Nunez is, if he was maybe getting one or two chances a game, those kind of misses would be huge. But with the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and the interplay of our forwards and potential of midfield, he's not going to have one or two chances a game. He's probably going to have closer to five, and if he puts one or two of those away, then it's kind of solid numbers because Salah has and Mane, when Mane was playing for us, they were notorious for missing easy chances and then making like difficult chances look easy. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on 30 minutes first game back from preseason. It's all about getting minutes in the legs, getting up to speed, and they all had a hard campaign last year. So definitely, I noticed that we don't have as many preseason games as before. There's a little bit more rest. We have 6 days in between I think it's our second and third game and our third and fourth game. So I think it's just about getting the team together, creating the bond, and getting minutes in the legs for the regular season, which is what actually matters.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, we saw in that snapshot of 30 minutes, there was, 3 or 4 times where Trent had the ball and could pick out or did pick out Nunez, and we're saying this on basically having one training session. So once they, get a great partnership and, is it something that not many people have talked about, but Nunez's positioning in 30 minutes were really good. He was playing on the shoulder of the defender. His movement in the box was great. So, yes, he missed it, but I think there's more positives than negatives out of that game from Nunez, isn't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you saw his little run to the right hand side of the pitch, and his volley that he was easy. He was going to make the save, but it's how he took it down. And I agree. I thought it's quite easy for him to just stay up front and just play around at the edge of the box. But I thought his over positional were great, and again, as you mentioned, alluded to with Trent, if he does what he did with Salah at the start of that when he first came on, and the little 1-2 pass that those two did show the glimpse. Once he gets his target in place, he will be firing them regularly. And I agree with what you said. If he starts getting 2 or 3 of them, he's in Salah numbers. Do you know what I mean? So after 130 minutes and you're seeing Trent doing that, there's going to be some great partnership coming along there, and we just need Robbo on the other side to do the same, and it'll be great. But no, I agree. It's the first time I've actually watched. It's nice to see Nunez doing what he's done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's he came on for that 30 minutes, but he was trying to link up with Salah at times, and he was trying to get involved in play, and he looks as though he is a Liverpool player. It's just going to take away. It's 30 minutes. Do you know what I mean? you got people kicking off that he hasn't scored. Do you know what I mean? I get it, but you can't write the man off. Do you know what I mean? Let's see what he does in the season ahead rather than a pre-season friendly.
Yeah, definitely. I think if he's maybe missing multiple chances like that in pre-season, we can start to worry. But one chance in a 30-minute game where he also got in great positions to score. There was definitely as Tommy said, he had a fail comp that's going around Twitter. I thought it was great movement for a lot of the stuff that he did. It was just a normal comp in my opinion. And I thought I was quite impressed with him. So, it's opposition. We'd do it if Haaland did it against City. It's all back and forward, isn't it? But before, I know it's a pre-season game and we've got 32 players, but we'll choose a Liverpool man of the match, if you could say, or just someone you was most impressed with. So, Drew, I'll start with you.
I'd probably say Fabio Carvalho. I think the one aspect against him, though, is that I felt his tracking back was quite poor, like positionally on defense. I don't think he was at his best, but I think that was also from United counterattacking, and it's his first time playing out with the team, a mixed team at that. But I think that will be integrated in moving forward is positioning out without the ball and the pressing there. So I think it'll be exciting to see him integrate. But I think Fabio Carvalho was the one that surprised me and impressed me the most.
And Kev, yourself?
I'd go along with Drew, but just to be different, I'll choose Elliott. I thought he had I think the pair of them, I think he could have picked either one of them. I agree with Drew with Carvalho, but I also thought the same of Elliott as well. To start that 30 minutes and show the actual commitment and his fight and how he played. It bodes well for the season ahead. Who was your man of the match, Charlie?
Well, it was Elliott, but I think there's other good shouts for Diaz and Ox. I think them 4 players were probably the 4 most impressive on the day. But I think in the next game, we'll probably see what Ten Hag did, where we see 2 45-minute sides. I don't think many of the youngsters will get a lot of game time for the remaining, especially as Drew said, considering we've got a lot less preseason games. This time around, I think we usually have 9 and we've only got 6 this summer, 5 or 6. So You never know. But we'll have a quick talk about the Crystal Palace game. I mean, Kev, what does Klopp need to change, if anything? I think my internet's died.
You're good, Charlie. I think.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I can respond to that one, but.
Oh yeah, go on, Drew. All you.
Yeah, I think you summed it up most. I think if we can get 45 minutes in the legs of some of our main squad, and maybe throw in some subs for some of the youngsters who impressed towards the end of like the first half, or get them in for 30 minutes or at the end of the game maybe. But I think seeing more of kind of 2 options, like squad A, squad B. I think that's how we normally do our preseason games, where we start seeing that, and then Klopp can mix and match. But I think as we get closer to the Man City Community Shield match, we'll be seeing what our starting lineup is going to be for the start of the season. I think the games leading up to that is just working towards that. But it'll be exciting to see who Klopp picks, because I think this is the first time in a long time we don't know what the lineup will be.
Yeah, do you know what I'd really like to see after yesterday's result? I'd really like to see a 4-2-3-1 of Fabinho, Thiago. Kev's getting back in. Fabinho, Thiago in that midfield on normal for at least 45 minutes on normal back 4, and then Carvalho in the 10, Nunez up top, Diaz on the left, and Salah on the right, and maybe Harvey Elliott in there somewhere. But it looks good. But Kev, I mean, what are you expecting from the Crystal Palace game? More of the same from Jurgen Klopp?
I think so. Yeah, I've got a feeling. I don't know what you were saying, but I think it will be more of a 2 45-minute squads. I think that Isaac Maybale may get more minutes at right back with Calvin Ramsey not playing. I'm expecting to see us playing a 4-2-3-1 at some point with our main 11 to see how that goes. I can see Firmino starting probably the first 11, probably Virgil in the second. Those who came back later, I think the third 30-minute team, I would probably say is our second team at the minute for the Crystal Palace game, and then starts with a mixture, a combination of who started the first half for Liverpool. I can imagine them going with similar makeup to what we had in the first half. Maybe with Matty, maybe Kanate starting the first in as the 2 centre backs rather than Reece and Phillips. That's who I'd probably go with, and probably Timothy in the first team.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're basically sort of said what we've both said. So it's a general consensus that, you know, we want to see a 4-2-3-1 with the main team. I'd really like to see Elliot in that 10 role. Because he played on the right of Carvalho. I'd like to see Elliot in a 10 role. You know, there was a lot of really nice touches that he done against Man United. But look, the overall consensus is it's a pre-season friendly. No one's really bothered. You know, well done to Manchester United, but they're clearly a week ahead of us in preparations. You know, a majority of our players have just come back, and the heat and humidity there was probably something a lot of people weren't expecting, which obviously plays a part in it. But I don't think there's many more things to say about it, so we will keep this one short. Apologies, Eddie, who's just joined. But Drew, Kev, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you go and check out their Twitters. Also, leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and we will be back for the Christmas